Christ is risen, indeed he is risen. This is another video to just give an idea of some more of the ways that people will target people. As I've said many times, I don't have all the answers. I only know what I observe, or what pieces I can put together. But I know that, let's see, as far as electrical issues, like I've said before, we have electric outlets that go off and on, messing with lamps. And you plug it out, you change the lamp, it still does it. So that says outlet. We have, sometimes we'll plug our phone in. Now we generally have the same thing we do every time when we plug in our phones. We'll disconnect from Wi-Fi plus from cellular data, and we'll airplane mode it. And sometimes turn them off, sometimes turn them on. It really doesn't matter, because the only time that there'd be any difference in charging would be if you're using the AC plug adapter. If you're just using a USB wire and plugging into a USB hub, most of the time your phone there's a software driven charge controller within your phone. But we'll plug our phones in different outlets, and sometimes a phone will take 2 or 3 days to charge, and then other times it'll charge in an hour. Like I said, this is with pretty much consistent. The phones are either turned off or they're left on, but everything is disabled. And there's no difference if we use the US hub, if we use the USB hub, or if we just plug it, directly with the AC adapter into the plug, because we get stuff going on. I would say probably out of our plugs, strange things happening. I would say probably at least half the plugs in here, things that just don't make sense. One day we plug in a phone, it's charged in an hour. Another day we plug it in, and it takes 2 or 3 days. This phone right here has been charging since 9 or 10 this morning, and it's only reached 40%. Since right now it is it's 10 p.m. Been charging for 12 hours, and it only got up 40%. 3 days ago when I plugged it in, it went from 11% to 90% in 3 hours. Does it make sense? And then we can't explain why one day our microwaves, we have 2 microwaves, one provided by the complex, and another one I have is just because I like to, be, self-sufficient when I can, which is why I don't even want to be in this situation. Like I was just talking with the social worker today, many people know if my disability cases were done and I was medically improved, maximum medical improvement, we wouldn't be here. I would be, leaving somewhere and getting some kind of a job, because I enjoy working, but with poor medical care, I can't really, get better. And some people say, oh, just lose weight. It's not that simple. It's never been just that simple. Yeah, I can put my foot to the grindstone and start running again, but oh wait, bad joints. Oh, yeah, I can go and swim, but we don't make enough income to get a substantial, affordable discount for the only place in this county that has a pool, the YMCA. I can't afford it. Let's see, and then also there's the issue of because of my sleep apnea and many other things that are not treated. We just don't even know what's wrong with the spleen. Yeah, I could jump in the pool, and do a 500, and I could have a heart attack too. But anyway, people know that we would be gone, and I wouldn't come back. I would shake the dust off my feet, just like I did at the Saginaw VA. I'm not going to go back there, not without some kind of apology and some kind of action of repentance. And if I don't get it, I won't go back. I'm not going to go somewhere and, facilitate and accommodate and approve and validate people that had bad intentions for me and for my family. So, but anyway, we have these strange things going on with the outlets, and we have some outlets that it's obvious the reason, why some outlets have a problem, because they're so old, and there's inside of most outlets, when you plug it in, there's like, how can I explain it? Kind of like metal that's been bent. It's like a kind of prong that's bent, kind of like. Well, I can't really do this, but anyway, kind of bent like that, like a prong. And sometimes they get bent out and they start like this, and so when you plug a plug in, it will fall out all the time. It's actually a fire hazard, because if you had something flammable around there, or let's see, an accelerant somewhere around, or something that got jammed in there, or water or something, and it caused a lot of sparks. It could potentially create a fire, or it could cause a short circuit, or it could overload. Lots of stuff can happen. Electricity can be unpredictable. The only thing you know for sure about electricity, it will always seek ground. But, so we have a few outlets that are like that. They're just, they shouldn't even be installed. Then we have some outlets that are, this is all since we moved in. Then we have some outlets that look like, I don't know, they're in crooked. And some outlets where the actual face of the outlet is like this, and there's plaster behind it. It's just crazy. Some of the stuff, just crazy. I don't know how you can put an outlet in the wrong way. You cut the hole after you put in the drywall, or before. A really good carpenter's going to cut the drywall hole before they hang it, and the outlet is already going to be screwed in or nailed. Some people, I nail mine. I'm not going to use screws. It's better to screw them into the stud, not hanging them on, one or two nails. Use a screw. That way it's perfect. It's not going to move, but yet it's flexible. You use nails, they rust, they get bent, and as the building settles, nails get bent. But anyway, I don't know if the nails would bend that much. It's not really it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be putting an outlet at a point that's going to get pressure at any time from building settling. But anyway, the point. What I mean, it's better to use a screw if you can, and not a nail. But anyway, so all kinds of crazy stuff, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why. Some days our microwaves work. Other days we have to microwave and microwave and microwave and microwave. And we might microwave something 7 or 8 times all the time, again, causing cost for me to absorb. That seems to be the modus operandi of this place we live, and the past couple of places we've lived, to drain us as much as possible financially. And anyway, so we'll do several minutes, sometimes up to 7 to 10 minutes before our food is actually even warm. And these are small bowls, and generally I only use Tupperware in there. I generally don't use any ceramics. or glass or anything like that. Um, I have thick, I forgot what it's called, thick glass for baking and for the oven and stuff that you can microwave in, but I don't put it in there. Um, but so anyway, that goes with two microwaves. One is 2,000 watt, no, 1,700 watt. The other one is 700. Same thing happens. And then we can't forget the refrigerator. There's always a smell in there. I always have to bleach it. Usually every month or two, I'll have to bleach the entire thing because it stinks. And I just realized today, it just dawned on me, actually yesterday, I believe sometimes when we're gone, I believe it turns off because I just put two and two together today because this happened to us at the Veterans Shelter Hotel. The same thing happened. We lost hundreds of dollars of food in 9 months because the refrigerator would always shut down. But I just noticed some sweat, and I noticed that our greens that are only a week old, they're spoiled. And they were refrigerated. They should be frozen. But this is the thing that tells me they were thawed and frozen. They're frozen, but they're spoiled. They're slimy, which tells me they're slimy and sweaty, which tell me they sweat. But they're frozen. You can't have it both ways. At some point, that refrigerator was thawed. And then I always, when I cook, I try to cook two meals. I cook a larger size meal, and then I freeze half of it. Sometimes I freeze half of it together. Other times I break it into two more meals, and I break it. I'm all about being frugal. I am all about it. I think it's fun, and it's a great challenge every week to try to find a way to save a couple of bucks. It can be fun. But anyway, so I'll see some of our food in our freezer also looks like it's been refrozen. And, I'm just putting this together now. I'm just seeing some of our things that are up in the freezer and in the refrigerator. They've been repeatedly thawed and refrozen. And, spoiled. And then that smell, I know that smell now. That's the smell of a defrosted refrigerator that's been refrozen. It just dawned on me yesterday because I lost about $5 of greens. Spring mix, kale, parsley leaves, romaine lettuce, spinach, high iron stuff. But so it would appear that that's happening to the refrigerator as well. And then also we have a outlet in my daughter's room that's the one where the lamp actually blinks off and on. Let's see. Oh, then we have another outlet where I have a light that changes from white light to near UV. And sometimes it will turn off and on, off and on. Now, I used to think it's a Wi-Fi light, but I looked at the outside that screws into the socket, the appendage. I looked at all of them. They came in a box. They're not Wi-Fi lighting. Somehow the amperage, that's what changes. When you have a light that changes color or changes brightness when you turn it off and on, all it is an amperage change. Something somewhere is changing the amperage, the flow. Well, this light does it all the time. Yeah, so, this is just another way that we could be drained financially, and people will try to cross boundaries to traumatize us by entering our safe space. People who repeatedly do this to people, this is the same mentality of a rapist. The same exact mentality. A serial criminal, some kind of serial predator, a serial burglar, a serial rapist, a serial killer. They repeatedly cross these boundaries. It excites them, it makes them happy, and generally they brag about it to each other. Um, so it keeps happening, and some people get a kick out of it. Repeatedly victimizing my family and toying with us to try to make us upset, angry, make us fearful. I don't know their intention. Generally, if I get in somebody's head like this, it's to write about them or to make sure they get put back in prison. When people think like that, they're obviously not repentant. They're a fraud. And people that are pretending that they're good people while they're doing that, those are some of the worst, the most dangerous. Remember, Ted Bundy had everybody fooled. John Wayne Gacy, people thought he was weird, but they just thought he was a reclusive salesman and agricultural type guy. Some of the worst human beings can be very, very, what's the word I'm looking? Very convincing with their acting. Or people pretending that they're helping people. There's another breed of the worst kind of people. People who are pretending they're helping others when actually they're harming them. But anyway, I hope this helps somebody out there. If you wonder what's going on, other things that people can do is you don't know it, but they can go out and splice into your outlet for your AC if you have outside outlets, because most people do not secure them. Because generally, at least in the Tri-County area, the vast majority of complexes with more than 10 or 15 apartments are owned by big companies. I mean, it's a rampant thing in the Tri-County area of foreign LLCs or foreign corporations owning the apartments. And they may not even hire a local property management. They may send their own. And generally, they don't care. They don't care at all. My experience, some of them can be very, very bad people. Very bad people, and sometimes very into church, so they know how to speak Christian, so they can shame the cross of Christ and do evil while quoting scripture. That's the worst kind of predator. But anyway, so another way, like I said, that people can mess with your electricity and cause an overload in your house or cause you to have a high bill, they splice into your AC outlet that's outside. These are most times are 220, and it's right there. You may have landscaping around it or it's attached to the building, but honestly, and what I've seen many times, property management companies don't walk the lawn, they don't walk the property, and maintenance is generally so busy, especially around here. Many complexes hide that they're actually understaffed because the law requires them to have a specific level of staffing, especially if they have a lot of housing vouchers or they're connected to any kind of government equity housing program. They're required to have a specific level of maintenance. They hide it that they have it. They hide their actual level of maintenance. They keep it a secret, and they're understaffed. But so they won't notice stuff like that for a long time. Maybe somebody's cut into your AC wiring on outside in the property where your AC is plugged in, or they'll run. I don't know a lot about this, but I am told there's a way to do it. They'll run the hoses. They'll install a splitter for the hoses, and I'm told it doesn't function as well. The air conditioning doesn't, but you can still do it, and nobody will know. The air conditioner will just work and work and work and work to cool down two townhomes or 2 apartments. Eventually, it may burn out or overheat, but I don't know how it's, I don't know the specifics, but I mean, supposedly it can be done, but you're gonna have to have at least one place is gonna have the controlling thermostat. You can't have two controlling, you can't have two master thermostats. One has to be a slave to the other thermostat. So I don't know how that works, but I've been told it can be done.
Long way from Raymond Jennings, aren't you, Mason?
Well, so that's what we deal in our place. And ballasted lights, I hate ballasted lights. They suck electricity. But we have several ballasted lights. They're the only light that we can put into the outlet. It must be ballasted. I hate them. Generally, I prefer to have everything LED. Now, LED is so easy to get, and you can get lots of shades of it, different colors. We use LED for our grow lights. We try to have plants in the house, especially my daughter. She has an aquarium, lots of plants and stuff. But no weed. Just a normal aquarium, house plants and stuff, garden stuff. But I hope this can help somebody so you can know some of the things that at least happen to us and perhaps they happen to you to mess with your income. I just hope my videos are helping people, telling our story, the evil we've seen, and I believe that Christ, the just judge, I believe that he will give us justice. I just hope it's in my lifetime. But if you're being targeted in various ways, I hope that this channel can help you. For the good people, especially families, people struggling with righteousness, to be good people, to be kind, to be ethical. And if you're a bad person and I'm helping you, now is your time to change. You found others that maybe have a similar people targeting them or whatever, for whatever reason. I haven't, spent time in jail or anything like that. I'm not a perfect person, but I've certainly broke my back my whole life to not get in trouble, to not do bad stuff, to not cross boundaries, ever since I became an adult, this has been my effort. So I still don't know why this is happening to us. I still don't know why. But if you're somebody that's been in trouble, now's your chance to change. And if you don't want to change, then maybe the Holy Spirit will make you.